Greetings from the desert, tiny bananas. Seriously, it's been unseasonably warm here. I'm not equipped. I gave away all my warm weather clothes last year. It got to 91 yesterday. The sweat paper mache'd my shorts to my thighs until I couldn't move. I give up. Give up. Moving to Alaska. Though, Gwendolyn, I can't even imagine how things are in Texas. So, you guys have had some intense videos lately. It's so incredible to see that you're making these huge transitions, these brave transitions. You're going and you're learning and you're getting to new parts of the country. Gwendolyn, I know you have a while to go yet, but in the prep phases. And it's just, I'm realizing that this is graduation weekend. So 2 years ago, Gwendolyn, you graduated. And now you're going and becoming a degree holder in romantics. You're becoming a romantics scholar. And Adria, you're becoming a certified editor, like special degree editor. And it's just kind of incredible. So I have not had any big transitions lately, but because I'm coming up on this year of having been out of school, I'm kind of starting to take stock of where I am and where I want to go. I really love both of my jobs. I'm so happy to do them, and I feel like I'm growing a lot. I feel like I'm really glad, especially working at Chin Music, not to be losing the kinds of reading skills and questioning skills that I got at the Writing Center. Actually, today, the author of the first book that I edited for Chin Music, Tom Gammarino, came into the office because he is in town for reading, and so I got to see him yesterday and got to meet him, and it was really cool. It's like my long-distance email BFF, you're real. But it was just this huge thing where it's like the book is real, the person is real, all of this stuff that I have had a hard time even absorbing in the wake of school, all the stuff I was kind of telling myself, I was just in too much shock to process. I was just telling myself oh, okay, and not really, it was just kind of bouncing off the surface. It's here, it's real, I'm living it. But with that, I'm starting to think more and more, trying to think about, okay, I've had my year, what would I want to be a part of my life going forward? So I think I told you guys I made that spreadsheet for writing submissions. I got my first round of rejections. It's been 2 or 3 months. So I'm starting to send out again. I'm trying to get in a regular habit of that. Actually, Ryan and Aaron and I were hanging out the other day. We were just thinking hey, we haven't had a write-away in a while. Let's have one right now. And so we wrote something about a surgery room that's going wrong. And it was really fun. I'd forgotten how totally engrossing it can be to just have a finite amount of time for writing. Because so much of the time that I get now to work on creative stuff, I'm also answering this person's email, scheduling this meeting, and I've got to go get groceries in 10 minutes. So it was just a really nice experience and a really grounding experience to remember, the basis for these friendships that we had, and what an amazing experience it is to write with people. So I'm hoping, Gwendolyn, you pointed out on the Right Away group, hoping we can actually get those going. So I'm hoping that can happen. Another thing that I'm trying to do is I took Spanish when I was in high school and French when I was in high school and a little bit in college. And I started Duolingo for French before I did it in college because I did it my last year. I hadn't taken French in 3 or 4 years. And it was fine. I did fine. But I haven't touched my Duolingo account since then. I haven't done any French stuff. So I want to pick that back up. And because my family is Polish, I want to learn Polish. So I started doing that yesterday. One weird thing that I thought was going to be a transition, but is not, is Hugo House is coming down this week. 2 days from now. This Wednesday, probably. And I thought that once that happened, we would film that, and then the film crew would take all the footage and put it together, and none of the rest of us would really, like, we can't swap around the footage. Like, we can't really help with that. And so I thought basically, like, for the summer, I would be getting another job just to help make ends meet. And then at last week's meeting, Francis was like, oh, let's see how we can pace out your work and like figure out meetings for over the summer so that we're like using this time productively, planning out what's going to happen once it's released. And so I was kind of gearing myself up to like, I got to do my resume. I got to get another job. And now it's like, I don't know how exactly it's going to work, or I might still have to get another job. But this is a point where I explicitly have the chance to pace myself and to think about what do I want to be doing and what skills do I want to be getting before this is over. So it's weird. It's weird after, 12 years in grade school, just you're going, one grade to the next. In college, you get to pick your classes, you get to pick your major. But, I mean, it just felt like it went so fast. Just always trying to get through this quarter, this finals week, like desperately catch my breath during this break, that now to have these moments where I can take stock, where obviously you guys are doing this too, it's just so weird. I just want to appreciate that. So that's all my insight for the week. Oh, one more story. I went canoeing last week, so it was so hot. And we went out, and we went in the arboretum, and we went under this low-hanging log, and he's like, lean back, like, this is gonna come low. And I leaned back, and I was like, oh, shoot, this is coming really low. And it was like, it got over my body, and it was fine. And then I was like, oh, man, this is gonna, like, I need to turn my head. And so I turned my head, and it scraped my ear. I have all this, the back of my ear still is sore. And I thought I was going to tear it off, and we could have gone a foot to the other direction, and the log was slanting, so we would have had more room. But that was a terrifying experience. Adventures. Yeah, I've never had a broken bone. Now is, or, lost a appendage. Now is not the time I'd like to start.